I'm back, everybody. I'm back. I've got an emotional support cat. She's called Molly. Be nice. Hello, Molly. We're back, and we're back talking about the GP de Quebec, where there is 50 seconds between the lead group and what is being called the peloton. It contains, as far as I can tell, 3 Visma bike riders, which I believe, well, I know 2 of them are Belgian boys, Tej Benoit and Wout van Aert, and if I had to shoot a wild guess in the dark, the third one is going to be Attila Valter. I don't know, because he's right at the very back, and I haven't really had a proper shot of whoever the rider could be to talk fully about it. I've just had a shot of him. It's Christophe Laporte, which actually Laporte is having a really good race because he's been injured and ill for almost a year, and he's come back to Quebec, which is not an easy race. It's a lot of constant up and down, and he is here. He's at the back of this peloton looking group. Pogacar is here. It appears that Wout van Aert and Tadej Pogacar are inseparable from each other. Molly is active. You annoyed at me talking. Yes, you like to cry. I am now on the road. Okay, I need to get onto this one. 45 seconds between... Okay, there is... I can't really see what I'm doing. Okay, I will find out if the stream is working properly. I really hope it is. It looks like it is. I can see riders going across the finish. Campeonato is 2 riders back from where I expect. And, well, we're back here again. I'll fast forward on to Campeonato so we can watch that. And then, from my opinion, stay favourite Edo Affini is up just after Campeonato. But we also have Juan Ayuso in this race. Juan Ayuso is a very annoying time trialist in this game because Campeonato has gone on a -2. I'm on ×2. He has good time trial stats, Campeonato, although I don't think he's shown them at all at Visma, because I don't think he's ever got that opportunity. But as I was saying, Juan Ayuso in this game always, for some reason, puts in the time trial of his life whenever it matters, and it would not surprise me if Juan Ayuso put in the same kind of flat time trial as Edo Affini or Wout van Aert. And that is what I'm worried about. Juan Ayuso also this little hill in the middle, this 1 kilometer climb, I believe it's 6%. Yeah, something along those lines, is what worries me. Victor Campenaerts on a -2 day, by the way, 4 seconds down over the hill, and I believe that is on Bruno. I think Bruno Amarai has just gone fastest. So yeah, Victor Campenaerts 6 seconds down on Amarai. Amarai is the rider directly behind him. 77 time trial, but slightly better on the hills, and at this point in time, I think better because Victor Campenaerts is on a bad day. Back to Quebec, we're getting shots of a waterfall, so I can't really commentate on what is happening in the cycling. Victor Campenaerts comes across the line 3rd. He's quickly pushed out to 4th as Bruno Amadei goes to the top. And up next is who I've tipped as the favourite for the stage. Edoardo Affini is up next, and I think he might, if he does a good time trial, could take the pink jersey. But Quebec now, going back to Quebec quickly, EF Education have swarmed themselves to the front and are leading by example. I believe our closest rider, and by our I mean Visma Lisa Bike, the closest rider to the front is Tej Benoit. And slightly further back, you have Wout van Aert is being babysat by Christophe Laporte. Affini has already gone, the European champion. Not as good a day as I thought he might be on, because he had a +3 predicted. So 82 time trial. In theory, he should go to the top. He is shifting right now. Update from Quebec. 40 seconds from the front group from the breakaway, let's call it, to the peloton. 42 seconds now. And there is 12 riders in the front group. But when we cross the line at the end of the last lap, the breakaway had an advantage of just over a minute. And now it's down to 40 seconds. So it's getting close. But if the breakaway decides that they want to go, they can very easily go. Juan Ayuso has crossed the line. Chrono 1, he has a 3-second gap over Affini. So this is the main bit. Laporte has gone out as well, but Laporte can't time trial. You'd think Laporte would be able to time trial. But anyway, Affini's got 3 seconds to make up on the flat over Ayuso. Can he do it? 2 kilometers left. Gonna go underneath the Flamme Rouge. The Ineos Grenadier is... Oh, Affini goes second by a second. In Quebec, Artem Schmidt, I believe, is suffering from cramp and has dropped away from the front group. So, and there's an attack in the peloton. EF Education have jumped in the peloton. EF jump, I believe Filippo Zana's closing. Tej Benoit is at the head of the second group for us. Wout van Aert, again on a shit day. As I said, Juan Ayuso is going to win fucking time trial. Tej Benoit closes. I believe that sitting at the back is the former Belgian champion. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Arnaud Delis. Followed shortly in front of him by the actual Belgian champion Tim Wellens, and then never separated, Tadej Pogačar and Wout van Aert are right next to each other. Christophe Laporte just sat in front of them, and Wout van Aert seems to be thinking that Tadej Pogačar is going to go on the attack at some point, and I think he's going to try and follow him. In game now, we're following Wout van Aert doing a time trial, but sadly he's on a -2. Laporte seems to be bringing up Van Aert closer to the front. Ooh, this could be good for us, because Affini, who's worse on the flats and a worse time trialist than Van Aert in stats, I don't think he is in real life, but Van Aert is only a second behind Ayuso. I reckon Wout van Aert finishes this time trial 2 seconds ahead of Ayuso. I hope so. In Quebec, it looks like that the UAE Danger lead out is about to start. Tim Wellens has come to the front. There's another UAE rider on his wheel. Behind them, second on the same time. Behind them is Tadej Pogačar, and on his wheel is Van Aert. So, both our other riders have gone. Yates can actually time trial. Yates could be a dark horse, actually. 79 time trial on the day. He's going to be... Oh, Sheffield goes up the top by a lot. Blown my Edo Affini predictions out of the water. But Yates could be a dark horse here. I don't think Brennan has time. 75. Brennan might be able to shoot for the white jersey here. Simon Yates. This is where I think he can gain time. Look how much... Max Cantor. Simon Yates has completely closed the gap just on the climb. Second on 0. Second, 0 seconds. Simon Yates is on the same time as Magnus Sheffield. Oh my god. Why am I so excited? Brennan 36 seconds down. Simon Yates could be gunning for the lead of the race here. I know Sheffield's a better time trialist than him, but I know Ayuso. But I think from that climb, he's going to be somewhere in the middle. Come on, Simon. Tim Vellens is pushing it in the peloton in Quebec. Simon Yates! Simon went first. No way Simon Yates is going to win a Grand Tour time trial. In this game, there is no way Simon Yates is going to win a Grand Tour time trial. No one is anywhere near. It's all sprinters. Simon Yates is going to win a Grand Tour time trial. EF Education. I'm going to pause after this and fully just react to... Sorry, Molly, I scared you. Simon Yates is Jonathan Milan. Oh, look at that pink skin scoot. It looks so good. Why wouldn't they ever do it for Visma? But he's 25 seconds down. Simon Yates is going to lead the Giro d'Italia. Simon Yates is going to win a Grand Tour time trial. And he's done it. Simon Yates. Simon Philip Yates. XTS Astana attack from the breakaway. XTS Astana. Bettiol pushing himself forward. The two XTS Astanas are pushing themselves away from the rest of the group. It's a death lead out from Bettiol. Or for Bettiol, I think. I don't know. Vellens, Pogacar. Oh, crash. I believe that's it. At the back of the peloton, there's been a crash. The Tadej Pogacar nuclear lead out has gone. Pogacar attacks. Pogacar goes solo. Pogacar is solo. 30 seconds back from the peloton. Not from the peloton, from the breakaway. Pogacar is solo. Wow, isn't solo. Pogacar is solo. He's been brought back by Uno X. I don't know quite who it is, but I know for one thing, there's an Intermarché rider in there, and I know for a fact it's Biniam Girmay. He has a bit of a tail. That sounds very racist. Okay. I don't know how Yates has just won a Grand Tour time trial, but Tadej Pogacar has already caught the dropouts from the breakaway group. Tadej Pogacar, decathlon rider here, is pushing on. Decathlon rider is pushing on. Coming back though in a long line of riders from behind the Red Bull helmets of... Why is Decathlon pushing this on so much? You have Tadej Pogacar, make him work. EF Education have missed the Tadej Pogacar break. So have his Melissa bike, and both of them are working behind. Pogacar pressing on. He's got a rider from Uno X, which I believe is one of the Howland Johannessens. Pogacar's pushing on. Girmay can follow. There's a rider from Decathlon in there as well. He can follow. The Uno X rider is being dropped. I'm going to try and find out who he is. I'm going to say it's Anders Howland Johannesson. Okay, Pogacar has... Oh, it's Jonas Abler Hansen. I should have worked that out. So, Tadej Pogacar is closing the gap massively. In his group, he has himself, Melissa, who has dropped from the breakaway, Paul Lapierre from Decathlon, Biniam Girmay, and Jonas Abrahamsen. And Tadej Pogacar is pushing the pace along. We have the bell for the final lap. Behind the Pogacar group, you have the group of Schmidt, Philippe, Verhilito, and Bastien Tronchon. They are 5 seconds behind them, and they've just been joined by Brandon McNulty, who is trying to bridge over to Tadej Pogacar. The Pogacar group to the front group, the gap is 13 seconds. 1.5 kilometers ago, it was 40. That's how fast Pogacar attacked up the hill. He is just a freak. And he's not even being forced to work in the group. There are people working for him. Biniam Gamai is working in the group. You just gotta sit on Pogacar's wheel in this. But it does make sense for the rumours that Biniam Gamai is either going to IPT or UAE Team Emirates. So I think Biniam Gamai might be going, look what I can do to Mr. Teddy Pikachu. Some matter require equipment test. Well, that's not very useful after we've just done the time trial. Last season for Yak Yak. I have no clue who that is. Tadej Pogacar, the gap has grown out a bit. You've also got to remember, in the group ahead of Tadej Pogacar, you have Pavel Sivakov. Pavel Sivakov is in the group ahead. Pogacar's teammate Sivakov is in the breakaway group. Now, is he just... I think we're getting a view of it here. And I can tell you, Sivakov is sat on the back with Alaphilippe. Working at the front, the only team that have two riders in there, Bettiol and Charming. And Brandon McNulty has joined up with Tadej Pogacar at the front, but right behind them, I reckon on a gap of about 5 seconds, is the peloton. Wout van Aert swings off the front of the peloton. I reckon there's about a 5 second gap between the group of Pogacar and the peloton, and it's being quoted at a 20-second gap between the peloton and the between the Tadej Pogacar group and the original breakaway, which I believe doesn't have any of the original breakaway riders left. Yeah, it's all the second breakaway group that came across at about 50 kilometers to go. We have just hit just gone over 10 kilometers to go. It's 9.5 now. And I just want to get another shot so I can confirm it. The distance between the Tadej Pogacar group and the peloton. And I believe they are actually pulling that gap out. Landa, Carapaz, Lipovic, Ciccone, Roglic, Skelmoser. I don't want to say, but I think if we control it right, we can get Van Aert over that for a sprint. But he's not been on the best of form. If he has even a neutral day, I reckon Van Aert can get over a Cat 2 if we protect him. But I wanna know what happens in Quebec, so I'm gonna watch that, because the Tadej Pogacar is pushing on. Tadej Pogacar is putting a full effort in. His mouth is wide open and he's breaking away from this group of riders that he's managed to form at the front. If he gets caught back, I wouldn't be surprised if Van Aert might be able to follow, but Pogacar is solo again. Gamai chasing. McNulty sat on the back of the group behind. Pogacar. Gamai comes back on to the wheel of Pogacar. 21 seconds to the front of the group. Another 9 seconds back to what is being quoted as the peloton. But this could be interesting. This could get very interesting because XDS Astana are fully pushing it up front. And Julien Alaphilippe has been sat in the wheels the entire time he's been in the breakaway. I honestly... Ooh, that's a shout. Do we send Brennan into the break? Do we break with Brennan in the Giro stage? I'm just going to straight up pause it. But Brandon McNulty is now working in the Tadej Pogacar group to try and bring back the front group. I could have been doing Quebec on this, couldn't I? But I'm doing the Giro. It's fun. We lead by a second for Sheffield, by the way. Is he even gonna... He might hit a fitness peak in this as well. That could be really good. I believe Pavel Sivakov is being dropped out of the front breakaway group to return to the aid of Pogacar. Oh no, he's getting back on now. He dropped about 10 meters back from the group and then worked his way back on. He might be going for an attack. You never know. But he is just sat on the back. He is just sat on the back, Sivakov. Alaphilippe doing up his boa dials on the shoes. He could be going for an attack soon. McNulty is pressing on ahead in the Pogacar group. Gamay, after closing the gap to Pogacar, just needs to be sitting on the back a little bit. I don't know quite what the gap between the Pogacar group... It's being quoted as 13 seconds. But I don't quite think it's that small. I will say this. I still think that the winner's going to come out of the second break. Which is Alaphilippe, the two Astana boys, Sivakov, Skelmoser. This could be a very interesting finish between Skelmoser and Alaphilippe. I'm surprised. Well, actually, I'm not really surprised, actually. I was going to say, I'm surprised Sivakov hasn't been called back to join the chase for Poggy. But why drop out? Why would you drop out a chance in the front group for a chance to win the stage? Or do you drop him back for something that's not a confirmed chance to win the stage, or bringing Poggy into that group? It's very, very interesting. I believe that there's been an attack off the front of the second group, and I believe it's Matej Mohoric. Oh no, this is the second group. Tadej Pogacar went solo. It was a white jersey, I'm sorry. But a white jersey just went off the front, and Pogacar is ripping the gap between the breakaway and the second group apart. And now Alaphilippe paces on the front. Alaphilippe knows the danger. The breakaway are working at the front. Okay, there's no chance of getting Brennan into this, is there? He's coming mid-pack. So Simon Yates is in pink after a time trial. 13 seconds from the break, from the front of the race to the Tadej Pogacar group, who I believe has just let his teammate Brandon McNulty off the front with Biniam Gamay and Nielsen Paulus off the front. I reckon this could be a Tadej Pogacar bridge over to McNulty. 4 kilometers left. 15 seconds from the front of the race to Gamay, McNulty, and Paulus. Pogacar swinging off the front. He's not doing any turns. McNulty is the play here, apparently. McNulty is the play. Remember, they've also got Sivakov up the road. Pogacar seems to be dropping a bit. Maybe saving himself for Sunday. I believe it is Merlitzer, who's the Alpecin-Deceuninck rider, who's now working. Alpecin working in the third group and the first, pulling it along. You've got Alaphilippe, Skelmoser, Mohoric, Bettiol and Sivakov, who I think are the real ones to watch in this first group. And as I said before, I think the win's going to come out of there, or it's going to be an absolute Tadej Pogacar masterclass. As Tadej Pogacar is caught, the Tadej Pogacar group is caught by the peloton. Can the peloton claw back the time in 3 kilometers? Alaphilippe off the front with the two XDS Astana boys. Can they roll him off the front? Alpecin-Deceuninck, Bettiol and Alaphilippe off the front alone. 2 riders break away from the front group, and it's Alaphilippe and Bettiol. I have no clue where the McNulty group is or where the peloton is. The McNulty group is going to be reabsorbed by the peloton. It's a 30-second gap with 2.5 kilometers to go. It's going to be the break. The break are going to win. Alaphilippe right on the wheel of the ex-Sistana rider, which I believe to be Bettiol. Alaphilippe riding the wheels, and now IPT comes to the front to pace. Van Aert is brought to the front by Laporte. Can this gap be closed? I don't think so. I think Van Aert, if he's sprinting here, is sprinting for 7th or 8th. Alberto Bettiol, followed by Alaphilippe, followed by Pavel Sivakov, who has made the jump across. Pavel Sivakov sitting about 4 or 5 meters off the back of Alaphilippe and Bettiol. Alaphilippe been doing what he's been doing all day, just holding the gap. If they cannot afford to look at each other, 3 riders clear off the front. It's gonna be between these 3. It's gonna be Alaphilippe, Sivakov or Bettiol who wins the GP de Quebec. Alaphilippe piling on the pressure. Sivakov sat on the back. Imagine Sivakov wins and gets another win for UAE. That would be just insane. Alaphilippe lighting it up on the bottom of the climb, forcing Bettiol into the crowd. That might get him disqualified. Alaphilippe is going. Alaphilippe is clear. Sivakov trying to follow. Bettiol recovering from being forced into the crowd. Julian Alaphilippe pushing up ahead. 1.5 kilometers to go. 19 seconds to the peloton. Alaphilippe is running away from it. He's got about a 5-second gap to Sivakov and Bettiol. Alaphilippe, though, has he spent his bullets too early? It's 1.5 kilometers uphill to the end. No sign of the peloton. Alaphilippe pushing on. This is what we would call a vintage Alaphilippe performance. Coming up at the back, though, Pogacar is pacing. The world champion pacing in the second group. This is still catchable. It's 1 kilometer to go. Alaphilippe got about a 10-second lead over Sivakov under the Flamme Rouge for Julian Alaphilippe. Alaphilippe, I don't think I've seen him work once today since I started the watch along. He's keeping going. He's been out of the saddle for about 2 minutes now. 900 meters to go. I think it's going to be Julian Alaphilippe. But here comes the acceleration from behind of Bettiol and Sivakov. There's the peloton. The peloton are there. It's about a 15-second gap with 700 meters to go uphill. Has Alaphilippe come a bit too early? He's got to just push the power on the pedals. If I can't have Van Aert win, I want it to be Alaphilippe. And he is going for it. Alaphilippe flying up the hill. But Bettiol and Sivakov are closing. Alaphilippe accelerates again. Round the corner. I think the chase has given up. But Bettiol and Sivakov most definitely not. Sivakov, Bettiol, Alaphilippe to the line. Alaphilippe, 300 meters left to go. Bettiol, Sivakov, right behind. Alaphilippe, I believe, has timed it perfectly. He's made the perfect moves. 150 meters to go. 100 meters to go. Alaphilippe is going to take. Is he going to? Here comes Sivakov. Sivakov, no, it's Alaphilippe. Julian Alaphilippe takes the Grand Prix de Quebec. Sprint from behind. It's Sivakov, Bettiol, Skelmoser, Mohoric, Melissa, the other ex-DS Astana, and then the peloton comes in behind them. What a ride from Julian Alaphilippe. What a win. And I'm going to be completely honest. I think Pavel Sivakov might win. I'm going to be completely honest. I think Pavel Sivakov might win. Because I think Alaphilippe might get disqualified for pushing Bettiol into the crowd. And that's my only worry. I think Alaphilippe might get disqualified for pushing Bettiol into the crowd. But anyway, people, that has been my watch along for the GP de Quebec. I hope you've enjoyed it. We played a little bit of PCM. And I will see you guys maybe tomorrow. I might stream some